The Creek Council House Museum has stood at the heart of Okmulgee's downtown district since the 1870s. Through Friday, it will be at the heart of the state's 22nd annual Historic Preservation Conference. Catherine Upchurch drove in from Woodward just to take part.
We learn a lot about structures of preserving the buildings, historical value of the buildings, and what it's worth to keep our revitalization of our older buildings continuing to upgrade them and keep our downtowns historical and preserve our great buildings that we have.
The main purpose of this conference is education. You can come to it with no knowledge at all of preservation and 3 days later walk away being able to start up projects right in your own neighborhood. The conference offers 3 learning tracks and has attracted participants from across the state and as far away as Mississippi, South Carolina, and Alabama.
Whether you want to learn about architecture, or if you want to learn about Main Street, or if you want to learn about historic preservation in general, you can follow each one of those 3 tracks or jump back and forth between the 3.
Nolan Crowley of the Okmulgee Chamber of Commerce says his community is a good example of how preserving historic buildings helps revitalize business in a small town. All around the town square, historic buildings are in various stages of restoration, and most are occupied by commercial enterprises. Because the historic integrity of the downtown is being restored, right down to replacing modern streetlights with replicas of Okmulgee's original streetlights, tourism is also picking up, and that brings in more business.
It's basically the most important economic development tool that small towns have. We're not a large community here, but our downtown and our historic areas bring in lots of visitors, tour buses. We have 45 buses a year come in and look at this museum and see our historic downtown.
Upchurch says even in tough economic times, investing in preservation projects pays off for small towns.
We certainly have our challenges ahead of us with the economy. It's harder to get people to reinvest right now, but I do have a fabulous store that we have revitalized an older building and getting ready to open within the next week.
In Okmulgee, I'm Kathy Tatum, the Oklahoma News Report.